So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mars in the 11th house in the sign of Virgo for Scorpio ascendant people. As in, what happens when Mars is in the 11th house in the sign of Virgo, while it rules the ascendant in the 6th house in your birth chart. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details, check out the links here, karasastrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Maghavedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching one of the most successful, probably the most successful course I've ever done of Nandi Nadi. It's still ongoing. It's at the very wit's end, but with all the videos then there. So yeah, it's that simple. So anyway, this is the Mars. This is a very, very interesting Mars. Because first of all, you will see, you have this Mars, you're going to get into constant battles and fights and arguments with your social circles, network circles, friends, elder sibling. If you have 3-4 siblings, the younger brother will argue constantly with the elder sibling. They will naturally pick errors into something, and you yourself becomes very critical about everything that you see in your life. Like, this is a position meant for a person to either somehow deal with enemies, competition, rivalries, business rivalries, because they will go to the last breath to fight their way to fulfill their desires. Now look at the keyword, fulfill their desires, because 11th house is desires. And the thing is, with this Mars, I'm trying to find the right words to say this. The bigger your desires get, and I'll put it in a couple of different ways. The bigger your desires get, the more problems and enemies you attract in your life. So if, let's say, your desires to become a billionaire, and that's what you're striving for, you better get ready with all the armors and everything around you. Because you're going to be battling with people in real world. Like, the moment you have some big desire, suddenly the enemy stands up in front of you. And especially with this for you. Now, of course, we can't determine your profession with this, just with this one position. But the thing is, no matter what your profession is, you're going to be dealing, and in a way, this is very subjective. It could be a very good thing or bad thing. You're going to be dealing with the highest form of work. So for example, if, let's say, you go into fields of investigating things, you're like a detective working, in the police department. Ultimately, you might end up working for the CIA and dealing with investigating the aliens, investigating such deep and dark secrets that you can't even whisper to yourself. So it's subjective of what you do. And the reason, and if you're smart enough, if you know Vedic astrology's basics, you will know these things have a lot to do with the concept of bhavat bhavam. We also see in this particular position, in a female's chart, your husband is going to find quite a bit of recognition, fame, achievements, awards. But the husband's going to always be critical of you, always criticizing whatever you do, because they just simply want everything perfect. Like, they want every frame of their life to be as perfect as Mona Lisa. Because you got to understand, Mars here is in its most anemical planet, or what was that word? Let's just say it is in the most hardest of enemy grounds, because it's in Virgo, sign of its enemy Mercury. And so here the action of Mars are mainly going to be seen through words and communications, contracts, writing, details. You know, like they say, the devil's in the details. If I had to hire somebody to see where the devil is hiding in the contract, I will hire this person, because they'll be the first one to see it. And especially with this particular Mars, you will see that absolute irritation with the family. Whatever the family suggests this person, they will find complete irritation with it. They will fight and argue with the family with it. This is the you, as this individual, including you, your brother, you guys are eccentric. Like, people just have a hard time deciphering, how did you become who you are? How is it that you are this individual? But you will also see one of the biggest things of this Mars in the 11th house in Virgo, they will serve the enemy. You will serve the enemy. You will become a humanitarian towards your enemy. So, especially when it comes to politics, it becomes a perfect position. Playing geopolitics. Because, for example, I just said this too in my reading, just the last reading I did, that you know how when you see two enemy countries coming together and they're like hugging and smiling and they're shaking hands and looking at the camera, that yes, we are best friends, we ate ice cream together from the same cone. But inside, they're just wanting to wipe each other out with whatever means possible. So those are the type of scenarios that will play out. At one point, you will be generous enough to even help the enemy. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mars in the 11th house for Scorpio ascendant people. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. So if you want to know all about your chart, horoscope, along with all my courses and my most successful course, Nandi Nadi course, check out the links here or go to careschannel.thinkific.com. Because that is it. That is the